Welcome everyone to our second session of just the Ascend Call Out Open House. Just an opportunity for myself, Craig Moore, and Don, our lead facilitator, just to give you guys a little bit of info about Ascend, a little bit about Black Excellence, where we came to. You all will be able to hear from one of the alumni, and then Don and I are just going to have a little simple fireside chat just about why we've created this program and the format we've created it. And then hopefully, if you have any questions, you can ask those questions. But just to kind of give you a little deep dive or just like a short background on Black Excellence itself. Black Excellence, we started out in 2020, shaping ourselves to be a economic mobility organization, focused on, really just creating a web of opportunities for Black professionals and founders to grow their household income. We hyper focus in areas around Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Missouri, on the east side. So then that way, those communities have a chance to be able to grow their income as growing development comes to their areas and they're able to survive and sustain. And so, in that, we've decided to really seek out how we can really help and support these professionals as they grow throughout these years. And so, we've been able to connect with over 700 Black professionals across Kansas City and across the nation, but solely in Kansas City, really trying to get a clear understanding of how can we not just be another entrepreneur support organization? How can we not just be another nonprofit, but how can we actually be a driver and provide tools and resources for these professionals and to know that you have to engage with them. And so as we connected with them, we found out the four top priorities of a lot of these professionals, which is understanding what their wealth was, finding mentorship, not just peers, but those who have done it and has been successful in doing it. Uh, Clear opportunities of professional development that's actually going to grow their income, and then also career security. And career security can involve from entrepreneurship to just ensuring that if I leave one job setting, can I come to the next job setting in the same city without having to uproot my life? And so we took that data, we took that information, and we did a number of programs, done a number of panel conversations. We've been able to feature over 200 Black businesses and professionals on KCTV5 during their Representation Matters segment over the last 5 years. And just been able to really do that with so many great relationships and people who are already doing it. And so, as we continue to engage and have these events, we as an organization decided that this was a year that we will actually roll out our core programs and our core tools that we feel have been validated and matured to distribute within the Kansas City area to help the Black professionals, the Black founders, and those who support it really engage with each other. And so we've created three tools. One is our ecosystem platform. It's called Proximity. This is an online platform built for nonprofits and organizations who want to be better connected with our Black community, those 700 members, those 2,000 subscribers. If you have a program that is supporting the development and growth of these individuals, we would like for you to consider using our platform as your learning management system, as your CRM, and as your resource connector to the community that you wish to serve. And then as we are able to use this platform to inject resources directly into our communities, we felt like the need for leadership was even more imperable. Once you have resources, once you have opportunities, how do I strategically put these into a plan that's going to not only allow me to have impact within my community, but actually impact within my household and impact within myself. And so we've created a SIN, which we're going to talk about in depth today. And so what we have done, and then lastly, we have our community research tool. Our community research tool is just our mechanism that we've been able to partner with the KC Biohub, to partner with Heartland Black Chamber, to partner with Keystone Innovation District, to help them distribute their services more into our communities. We will soon be announcing partnerships on the Wyandotte County side alongside with Keystone, to where these community research and engagement projects will come into a little bit more fruition. But today, again, we are highly, highly focused on Ascend. And so over the last year, we've been able to partner with Evergy. We've been able to partner with the Heartland Black Chamber and Reach Healthcare Foundation, to really pilot three cohort cycles, where we've been able to connect with about 30 participants. And the reason why we wanted to partner with those organizations specifically is because it allowed us to really assess how we engage with professionals, how we engage with Black small business and scaling business entrepreneurs, and then also our nonprofits, because we wanted to make sure that we built a cohesive product that allowed professionals to come in and really be themselves, but then also have the tangible strategies to really grow our ultimate goal of growing their household income by 30%. And so we've been able to go through leadership assessments, and even during the cohort itself, a lot of our professionals have been able to show that they've actually received promotions, or their business grew, or they've launched businesses. Again, we are not focused on those businesses like your Porterhouse KCs or anything like that. Our focus is on the founders and those individuals. You know, they say when you think about the education system, children can't come to school and actually do their work if they're thinking about their hunger, if they're thinking about where they're going to lay their head next. This is the same thing for any professional in any situation. If you are constantly thinking about how you're going to get your next paycheck or how you're going to get the next dollar, there's no way that you can really focus in and help that growing company or even help your own company grow. And so, what we want to do is get down to what it is that you need as an individual, so that you are shaping a plan that's truly going to grow your income, that's going to allow you to be a leader in our community and allow our community to come together. And so, with that, just a little bit about our framework. This framework, as you as an individual, you'll go through 10 sessions. We have an opening right now for about 30 professionals to go through live sessions right now, starting on September 3rd. So that application is open. In these sessions and through the curriculum, through Ascend, you will find leadership development. You'll find strategies on how to navigate your career. And then we'll partner you with our financial partners to help you truly have a great understanding on how your finances need to be stabilized and how they can scale with the resources and the pathways that you're in. And then every participant, our goal is that you will go through this curriculum, go through those 10 sessions, leaving with a 3-year plan that you can reflect on, that you can then apply within our proximity platform to help you retain the knowledge that you've learned. And then you're just continue to be engaged with this growing community that we are growing right here in Kansas City. But I know you guys heard a lot from me. Don is here. You're going to hear a lot from Don in a little bit. But I just want to take a quick little pause just so you can hear from one of our alumni who has done a quick little video for us to let you know about her experience and what she's learned. Do we have some audio issues? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, we're going to pivot.
Yeah,
Go
you can
ahead,
try to
Don.
figure that out. I'm going to just step in. Appreciate Craig and all your leadership. Um, and I see a few different comments in the chat. Ezra Woods, appreciate your feedback. But I'm just going to get into really what Ascend is and some of what it isn't. Yeah, we saw that, Cosetta, that there's no sound. Thank you. Um, if Craig, you want to try to figure that out so we can hear from Terry, that'd be great. But if
Yep.
not, I'm just gonna.
Nope, you're good. You're good. I'll drop the link inside the comments for everybody. But go ahead, Don.
So you mentioned something very, very curious that I thought was an interesting analogy about kids going to school and not really being able to focus on their stuff if they're hungry. And right now, I'm under the impression the more we do this work, the more we reach out to folks, the more we connect with folks, that Black professionals and Black entrepreneurs, Black founders, Black creatives are starving in the worlds that they try to take up space in. And it's because they don't have as much of anybody putting into them as they do them putting out. And so if you are constantly pouring out, if you're constantly somebody who is trying to make your life and your business work, but you don't feel like something is being poured into you, then you are empty. And what we've been seeing is that people get refreshed just in the experience of being in the room with the caliber of folks who are in the Ascend cohorts. Now, what that is simply is just that they are isolated in their endeavors and in their ventures. So if you're a Black professional or a Black founder and you feel isolated, or if you know somebody who feels isolated, like you're the only one in the room, like you have everything on your back, like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you're carrying your family, you're carrying your team, you're carrying whoever, the Ascend cohort is created for you. And so we have packaged it up in a way that allows you to see, okay, I'm going to grow my household income. That's the top line desire. It's like I want to make more money. I want to have more resources. I want to get more access. But the real questions that we come down to is for what?
Mm,
Why do you want that? It's so that you can have a sense of independence, a sense of peace, and a sense of fulfillment in your career and your business. You didn't start a career just so that you could struggle. You didn't try to climb the corporate ladder just so that you could be in a constant fight. And if you feel like that's the world that you're in, then that is what the Ascend cohort is actually a reprieve from. That just coming into the space allows you to get a different version of yourself that is fuller and freer. So you can actually reactivate your genius and then take it back into the world that you are in. And so I'm going to break this down into just a few of those typical challenges that people have come with, right? And that's carrying everything by yourself. I mentioned that isolation and that weight, feeling like you lack access. Again, when you are dealing in a predominantly uh, white world, let's just put it that way, where you are not um, surrounded by people who look and think similarly to you as a Black professional, then it can feel isolating and like so much is on your back. To lack the access that you feel like you need in order to get to the next level. A lot of times, what we found is that it's not that you lack access, it's just that you lack awareness of the access that you have. And when you connect with other folks, that is the pathway to more access because business happens through people. And so we come back down to these really, really basic tenets of our life that we tend to forget when we're just in survival mode, when we're isolated and we're only able to um, just see what's right in front of us. And so the program, the Ascend cohort is literally that. How do you ascend? How do you get a higher view to where the problems that seem so big in your face actually become smaller? And then you collaborate with other people. Okay, now that I got some space from this, how do I actually approach it? Is it actually a problem? And so these are real aspects of the cohort experience. And so again, as a Black professional, as a Black founder, if these are the inner feelings, the inner sensations that you have about your experience in your work, the exhaustion, the feeling like you're always fighting, the moving toward burnout, the Ascend program is for that. Yeah, yeah, Cosetta, reactivating genius. That's really it. You stepped into the stuff that you're doing because you have some genius to bring into the world. You have some music to play. You got something to give. And when you pile all of the stuff that happens in the circumstances on you, it just gets deactivated. because you move into survival. So, how do you continue to reactivate that on a regular basis? Well, the 10 sessions, the 10-week experience is how we recalibrate you to help you reactivate that genius and then go do your best work in the world. And we do it through three tenets, or we have three pillars that we're going to work from. The first one is the self. Now, a lot of professional development stuff that come in and teach you and talk about the things that you do, right? And the things that you do might be important on one level, but who you are and how you do them is much more important. It's foundational. And so we go straight to the core. And this is what makes the Ascend cohort and the Ascend program different than your typical professional development experience, because it's not just about your professional development, it's about your personal evolution. How are you growing through the experience of what you're doing in your career and your business? And how do we focus on that? So you develop a really crystal clear vision about what you're after, what your objectives are. You develop deeper confidence. You get a deeper trust in yourself because you start remembering, oh, this is who I am and this is why I'm here. And then you get the opportunity to really start testing your leadership identity that you are really developing in a new way. You're already a leader, which is why you're even interested in this stuff, which is why you even founded a company, which is why you even started to move up in your career. But how is that identity evolving? And is it one that I've conformed to for what I thought I should do in this world? Or is it one that's authentic to who I am? And so we get to ask those questions. And so we shift you from just surviving in an atmosphere to realizing how you can thrive in your own realm. Okay.
On this, like while we're on self,
Yep.
what do you say to that founder or that entrepreneur who's like, I've been through all the programs,
Mhm.
I'm building my own nonprofit, I am the leader
Mhm.
in my community, and so like why would I go through this? What do you tell that person?
Yeah. I would ask them a question first, and I would inquire if that feels good
Mm,
to be the only one, to be the one that everything comes down on. When you've developed an identity that you are the linchpin for everything, yes, there may be some power in that, but there's also a lot of pressure. And the pressure, unless you thrive in it, let me put it differently. The pressure, if you are in a space where you know that you're being sharpened and built up by others, that pressure can actually be constructive. But if you're in a place where it's only pressure, then it is likely destructive. And you're likely reaching a point that you're going toward burnout rather than something else. And so that's the question that I would ask. If you believe that you're beyond needing something, then you could either keep your world small and not grow, or you could recognize that there's something more of you that is ready to get out and get into a space where that's allowed to have some more space.
mm,
Because as
uh,
an individual, yes, you can do certain things, but when you are with like-minded, like-hearted, like strengthened people, something different happens. And so to really submit to that kind of environment is a bigger challenge in leadership. If you're the smartest person and the most powerful person in the room, then you're likely in the wrong room.
mm,
So
mm.
that's what I would say, because people, if there was anybody, and I haven't actually met anybody who said that, most people are on the other end where they feel like, man, you know what? I am the one, but I'm again hungry for somebody to pour into me,
Hmm.
because we all need that. And no matter
Hmm.
what level you're at. And so that's the aspect of the self. And we provide an environment where you develop the tools for emotional resilience and mental mastery in a way that is aside from anything that you'll experience anywhere in Kansas City, at least that I've heard of, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Especially as a Black founder or a Black uh, professional. There's because the Black identity is significant, and to be able to explore the different facets and aspects of it within the spaces that you're in is really what provides some of that that extra umph um, that differentiates the Ascend program from anything else that I've heard of.
I
Uh,
agree.
and so the second pillar or the second aspect of what we do is the systems. And we have some practical systems, business frameworks for client acquisition, really recognizing what the real needs are of the people that you serve, whether you're in an organization or you have your own, and understanding the recipient of that genius that you are bringing into the world in a way that allows you to solve their real problems and not just the ones that you think they have. And so this is a big issue across the board for founders and entrepreneurs, where we come to the scene with assumptions about what is, and then we frustrate ourselves by continuing in that assumption rather than taking the feedback that we get and adjusting. So you can build the emotional and mental resilience to be able to have that uh, journey be more fruitful, but also get the practical frameworks that allow you to distill these things in a very significant way to where you know exactly what you need to do to move forward because you've actually gotten it back from
Mhm.
the people that you're looking to serve. And if you're in an organization, if you're in the corporate world, again, business is happening with people. And so when you understand that the stakeholders have a certain objective and you recognize how to match your skills that we assess to that objective, you can move up more easily. It doesn't become a fight.
I
It's a
think I
natural
think
progression.
I think in a lot of our pilots, I think this is where people struggle the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as they're working on self and who they are and where they are, then that's when they identify that I am in a system, or there is some system that I'm trying to be a part of that I didn't know that I was trying to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all simply because I'm not asking the right questions and I'm not asking enough questions,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not taking in that feedback. I think that
It's that
we've
part.
seen taking in that feedback is the biggest part, and applying the feedback. I
Mm-hmm.
think over the last couple of years, we've seen such an uptick of Black businesses come and be born. But then we've also seen over these last couple of months, a lot of those businesses fall and close their doors. And I think a lot of the times is because we're not asking the right questions or enough questions and taking and applying that feedback for what it is, and not the story that we're telling ourselves
Yeah.
just to be the Black whatever or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be.
Or even inside of an organization where the big shifts happen because government programs or government action has scared their organization into taking away stuff or siphoning money and moving it somewhere else, like not focusing on the diverse experience or things of that nature. I've seen a lot of Black professionals really suffer under that because it's out of their control. But we bring what's in your control back into view so that you can actually navigate that rather than stressing and having a suffering experience about what's not in your control,
Mhm.
because these are just the realities of our experience. But how do you, as somebody who has that brilliance, who has that genius to still deliver, how do you do it? And so we have systems, processes that make that growth repeatable. Um, and then you also have the community aspect that provides the accountability and to reinforce that consistency. Because again, like you said, is applying the feedback. It's like when you're in a group of people who are going in a certain direction and doing a certain thing, even if they're in their different lanes, there's still a synergy that happens where, all right, we're moving. And we might have some challenges, but again, we're moving in sync and it just makes it easier. So the practical frameworks, the processes, and then the community accountability for consistency is what the systems that we provide um, actually help benefit you with. And then
Okay.
lastly, you got some.
Well, I'm just saying on that community part, I feel like that's one of our biggest value add. This whole thing with Black Excellence started because we realized that there were so many professionals and organizations and clusters and coalitions of people across across our entire city that don't know that they're working on trying to solve the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that is stressful to the resources of the region, stressful to the resources of the community. And if we could just come together in a more collaborative, and there are systems being created forcing us to be more collaborative, but I think that when you come into a space intentionally and you invest into that space, not only in yourself, you realize that that community aspect allows you to be a lot more powerful than what you've been by yourself this entire
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's that synergy. Is it compounds to where you're not just in isolation, you're not siloed. There's more to you when you realize that there's more around you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Eric, I see your comment. You own you, and people need to know how to do that. Definitely. People have been conditioned. We have all been conditioned to believe that we belong to the systems that are external instead of creating the systems within our own realm that allow us to do things in a more easy and repeatable fashion. So we ain't just hustling, we are creating frameworks that allow us to move and flow through the processes that we create. And how do we sustain that though? And so that's the third piece. The third pillar is the sustainability. And that's having a business model or a lifestyle that can last. Because when you running a burning the candle at both ends, when you hustling all the time, when you're constantly in a fight, when you're on the verge of burnout, when you feel like you're isolated and you don't like, it's inevitable that that cannot last. So, how do you create sustainability energetically, financially? Like, these are the things that we not only discuss, but we create customized solutions to, because each of the individuals that are involved in our processes are that they're individuals. And so, what is it specifically with you? And we help you get sustainability financially by building out your 3-year income plan, where okay, you got this big goal. How do you increase your income significantly over the course of that time? You could just keep your head down and grind, but that's one way of doing it. Or you could come up for air and actually look around to see, all right, where am I really trying to go and what is required for that? And so the financial piece, understanding your personal finance as well as understanding the other opportunities there are in the financial world, whether that be investment, whether that be any kind of not necessarily just investment in you, but also you being able to invest. It's learning all the aspects of what is accessible to us and how it fits into the plan that we create for ourselves. Okay. So relationally is another big one. It's not just, you know, how the money moves, but in your household income, there is collaboration within that space too. And how do you start to really look at what it takes to build wealth that is culturally aligned with who you are, not just trying to grab at what somebody else has? And I know we talk about closing the racial wealth gap, and that is a significant catchphrase, I would say. But instead of just closing the racial wealth gap, we're looking at how do we actually build and sustain wealth independently. It's not trying to close the gap to chase somebody else as much as it's like, all right, what does it really take for me to live and thrive? And so these are the discussions that we have and the practices that we employ that get you in a different state to where you're moving out of the isolation into collaboration and out of survival into being able to thrive. So you walk away with a plan, but also with people who have gone through this process with you that you now understand, okay, I'm not alone in this journey. And that's empowering enough in and of itself to keep you moving.
Love it, love it. Appreciate this, Don. So we're just gonna get to the nitty gritty. I know many of you are asking, what does it take for me to be a part of this group? Right now, we are accepting 30 participants in a rolling basis. So you could come in. You'll start your 10 sessions once you are paid up, and we're getting started. We as we grow, depending on the volume of participants that come through, we may halt our doors, but it just totally depends on our growth and as people are coming in. But we do have scholarships available. Thank you to Evergy for supporting us every year since we started our pilot. So we have partial scholarships for 10 of our slots. available. We also have payment plans available. And then if you are thinking about this being an opportunity for you to go to your employee for this being a professional development, we have tools and resources and can also meet with you to coach you on how to talk about getting this program paid for through your employer. But this is again not just about an investment towards the programming. Of course, all of those things are needed, but this isn't about investment in yourself and being a part of a community that is being curated to really grow and expand Kansas City beyond itself. Um, Don, you got any final thoughts?
Don't sleep on this. Look, if you hear this stuff and if you see us and if you see this message anywhere and you got that little bit of inclination to be like, yeah, that sounds like something that might be for me, look at it. Like, do not sleep on it. Because again, the possibilities and the access and the opportunities are there. Just plot it out. Look, anything's possible when you make the decision to do it. So don't sleep on this. Don't create an idea ahead of time that this wouldn't work for you or that this isn't possible for you right now. Take a step forward and really begin that ascension, like not being bound by the limitations that you're thinking about already, but allowing yourself possibilities that you maybe haven't considered before. And so that's all I would say for anybody that's listening to this in Kansas City that is ready to rise, is ready to grow, and you feel that little bit of resistance. Like, let's go, let's
Love
go.
it. Love it. And lastly, if you are an organization who wants to support a scholarship for a professional to go through, or if you want to have a cohort for your organization or a batch of your employees come through our program, we're open to that as well. Just reach out to us. You can reach out to us via our website or via these QR codes, and we'll be happy to support. But really, really excited for this group. Excited to get started in September. And yeah, look forward to getting things going. We're going to do another one of these. They'll be coming out periodically. So keep the recording, share the recording with your friends, and be on the lookout for the next one. But thanks a lot for everybody. Have a good one.